Well, a solar installation really begins with an analysis of the energy required to do specific tasks. That could be, and that needs to be kept in mind because the solar systems are designed and have one purpose and only, that is to generate electricity, and that specifically is a certain amount of electricity. Um, if you have a need that can be served by solar, then we need to know how much electricity that is. Then the solar design process can begin. So we start with an analysis typically of the electric bill. This is pretty much an abstract energy analysis, but we have to look at that sort of like this is where you are. Now, I just presumed that you were a grid connected customer. For those customers that do have an electric bill, then this would be the first step in a offline design interaction. However, we have customers that don't have electric bills, and these are a little bit more challenging to get the information out because I start asking customers like questions like how many kilowatt hours per day do you use? And of course they don't typically have an answer because that's not in our common thinking. So the process with me and a potential customer is really to begin this dialogue on electric usage and really focus in on the tasks that are to be accomplished. This is very specific to the off-grid application, but it doesn't change fundamentally when you're talking about on-grid. It's just that you have more options when you're on-grid. Obviously, you have some utility service which could provide a certain baseline amount of power, which is often the situation, and then we look at the other aspects like minimizing cost, keeping the bill reasonable. These are grid-connected design goals. Off-grid, we have, in a sense, a simpler objective, and that is simply to produce enough power so the client can do what they want, whether that means living in a cabin one weekend a month, that's a scenario, or living in a very large air-conditioned off-grid home. Of course, that's another extreme situation. We've done all type systems, so it's a question of really getting the numbers right, getting the understanding right, and I have to say, really communicating with the customer what the realities of living, and again, I'm speaking specifically of off-grid customers, because living off-grid is not right for every customer, and there may be off-grid people who thinking they're going to live off-grid, where in the end I'll recommend they not be off-grid, and it has to do with fundamental maintenance, and there are obligations and responsibilities. Obviously, these could be. We could sell you a service contract. We're happy to do this. We do this with selected customers. Visit them once or twice a year and just do a maintenance program. These are all questions that vary from customer to customer and from application to application. But again, these are areas where we know what questions to ask, and so we get it right at the beginning rather than finding out downstream that we made a mistake.